Hello, and I am Liam Pilkington, and I will be comparing the indexes between Indonesia and Japan. As it can be seen through the graph and the table, Japan ranks as one of the highest in the Human Development Index at 19. Contrastingly, Indonesia is in the middle at 114, measured in this index. This demonstrates a difference in well-being as HDI measures three key components: health, knowledge, and living standard. This is further portrayed when looking at the life expectancy, as they are more than 15 years apart, showing the difference between a more developed country compared to a less developed country. Similarly, Japan and Indonesia have the same amount of schooling. Despite this, the GDP per capita of the country is drastically different, with Japan making 10 times more. This shows inequality of opportunities in different developed countries, with the same amount of education. In contrast, the mortality rate is quite different between the countries. This is because the countries are being in different stages of population pyramid, with Indonesia being around 1 or 2, compared to Japan at 5, an aging country. Here we have Japan in the year 2000. When we look at the 50 to 54 range with a sudden boom of population, this is due to World War II, where Japan had to repopulate at a fast rate to become more economically stable after the war. There's another spike in the 25 to 29 age group, likely due to immigration, demonstrated with Japan's immigration statistics for 2000, which was 1.6 million people, a 22% increase from 1995. When we look further and we look at 2023's population pyramid, these age groups have aged higher, and the pyramid went from the fourth stage to the fifth stage. This has happened due to the culture and keeping a high work rate instead of having children, which isn't only lower birth rate, increases stress and increased burnout. Also, Japan has a high cost of living when living in cities due to limited space, making it very difficult to raise children over careers. Indonesia's population pyramid in the year 2000 is in its first stages. There's no high life expectancy, there's no one among the population in the constrictive group, and much of the population is in the expansive group. When we progress to the year 2023, the population pyramid changes. The pyramid changes to a stage of 2 to 3 as life expectancy has increased and the expanse population is still high but slowing down. As Indonesia continues for the future, there should be a shift in population moving to a higher stage and becoming a further developed country. One of the reasons I chose HDI for my well-being is because it's designed to show how countries have developed and how the future countries are going to develop. Also, using HDI, it can give you insight and a deeper dive into the understanding why a country is developing the way it is, with current events, past events, and why it's happening. OECD, instead of having the same index for HDI for developing and well-developed countries, this instead tries to measure the well-being of a country. This would give new insights as it would demonstrate the education, the happiness, the opportunities, and the conditions what people are supposed to work in. GDP is great for viewing how much a country produces, as it speaks volumes to the structure and opportunities within a country. This can tell me how much a country produces and how much they're making between developing countries, giving more contrast. It also demonstrates spatial inequality, where there might be places where one place has a lot of opportunity compared to the other. As it can be seen in the data, there is a great contrast, as by simply living in a different country, your life expectancy has been shortened to 2 decades shorter. Even with the same amount of education between countries, it is obvious to see the disparity between making money, making almost 10 times more for Japan. Finally, this metric is not available for Indonesia. One of the metrics are not available for Indonesia, as I have written NA. Japan has a low life satisfaction rating because of the overworking, the amount of stress, and the culture within Japan. A strategy for Japan to get out of their population situation is not putting as much restrictions on immigration. This would lead to new workers and more opportunities, but it will come at the cost of the culture around Japan. A more logical solution to Japan's social dilemma is to further promote having children and try to put more emphasis on not working till burnout during the prime years of having children. Although this solution is slower and might not work as effectively, it will keep intact the culture around Japan and feed growing workforce. Here's my bibliography. Uh, I forgot to put in the really good one.